Yo, Legalized Odyssey is back, in the business. We're here to keep it real and keep it Odyssey to this brand new show that we just made for 4 years. I'm here to have the show to promote on Valley TV. So just premiere me if you can. I'm available. I'm available here to talk about it. It would be grateful just to enjoy some time and just exploitation with some great stuff. Just having a great time. Just don't worry. Well, I'm just keeping my eyesight to get better. I'm trying to be peaceful in my insight. You know what I mean? This is my prayer. This is what I do. This is what I do for sports, and that's what I do for a living. Well, here's the first news. Well, we haven't talked about the first news that we talk about sports since the first episode. So we're here to talk about the second episode. So here's the breaking news. Okay, baseball. Well, here is baseball. Atlanta Braves, they just won the champion last time. So they went pretty good to beat the Astros. So that's good. Well, I don't mind if they do it. So that was pretty good when they showed up. But right now the predictions for the favorites for the World Series this year, hopefully it's going to be the Dodgers versus, I don't know whichever team that's going to show up. I'm saying Padres and Dodgers are going to be favorites to be in the World Series this year. So I don't know who's vice versa to be in these teams. It should be vice versa, like Seattle Mariners or Athletics or Chicago White Sox or Phillies. I don't know. Well, this shit cannot be serious for baseball. I don't watch baseball sometimes, but it's hard to contrast to all of those players because Buster Posey retired. So I can't contrast anything. So it's too bad if I'm not the real baseball fan. But it's okay. I can just enjoy one of the. It's a good team for the Giants, but it's all right. But there's no favorite I can see it so far because Giants are gonna be are waiting for it to become a good playoff team to come for maybe the next 6 years. So it's gonna be a while. And plus, for NFL, well, who do you think is gonna win? The Rams or the Bengals? Which one do you gotta pick? What do you think? You never know. Well, put the comment below. Just say anything. Just say anything from baseball, football, or, well, Super Bowl is still going to be around. And plus, and don't forget, NBA will be around the whole year. So, I don't know if the Lakers are going to make it to the playoffs this year. So, and then the finals. So, they see if they can get to the heavy chance favorite or not. Because they still have to be patient. Or the Warriors, or also the Memphis Grizzlies and the Mavericks, so they don't know if they're the good favorite teams to take over, so we'll have to find out. Or Clippers or Timberwolves. Well, they could be a favorite to the finals versus the vice versa Eastern Conference team, so let me find out, because NBA is such a raw teams. They got some really good raw teams in the Eastern Conference, but they're look pretty heavy without the Bucks and Sixers in this. Also the Bucks, but you never know. I don't know if Bucks are going to take the repeat, so let's see how it goes. Because the last time was the Bucks versus Suns and vice versa, but Bucks won the champion with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Well, let's see how that works out with the Western Conference teams to win the first champion to become successful in San Francisco, or somehow that's going to happen, like the Memphis Grizzlies. So I don't know. Should be awesome when you see all those great games that just show up. NHL, well, hopefully it's going to be the Colorado Avalanche or Los Angeles Kings or or Vegas Golden Knights to become a favorite to be in the finals of Stanley Cup. So I don't know if there's. I know Eastern Conference in the NHL is going to be vice versa too. I don't know which teams they're going to be going because they go up and backwards from, especially if including for Florida Panthers. You know what I mean? Florida Panthers are a great team, so watch out for that team. It looks like they could be grateful if they're going to come out at last to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. So whichever comes in. So just prayers some good teams because we're here to see how awesome it's going to be. So let's see what happens. Okay, so here's another news. Breaking news. The ISIS leader just passed away by one of those shooters in the United States and in America. Bravo. Well, I can imagine how that happened with Osama bin Laden after they got killed by those soldiers too. You know, we've seen the movie The Black Hawk Down, but that was a pretty good movie. But they've been facing other challenges. There have been solved in and solved down. You know, everybody just passed out with some good good soldiers, you know, and the troopers, you know. All of these people, they're strong people. You know what I mean? Everything that goes, like it did with Afghanistan, it was been in a long past, you know. Like, remember what happened to 9/11 when you see those years that crossed that happened for 21 years? It was awful. It was the most awful news I've ever seen in the 2000s. You know what I mean? It was horrible. You know, it's more worse like having Donald Trump as a president since 2016. That's the worst. That one's horrible too. You know what I mean? The most horrible news in the 2020s is the coronavirus. You know what I mean? We looked at those horrible news ever. You know what I mean? 9/11, which one's worse? 9/11, coronavirus, or Donald Trump? You get it, right? You get it, right? But it's good that we know we talk about the ISIS because we don't need to know damn ISIS leaders because we don't want to have to arrange their attacks again. But hopefully they can stop the end of the war from between U.S. and ISIS when Joe Biden has to speak up about America. Speak up, America. Speak up. We got every people we have to get along. This is what happens whenever people like to salute. But it's all good because we're here in the community. But it's all good. Take that factory with you so we can just talk about it in some good enhancement. That's all good. I have a daily routine in my house. You know what I mean? It's about the news. Get it? We're here to study all those good news that we just talk about the history. Since I went to New York and there was a building that was been destroyed. I already saw that shit. Okay? Don't lie, because I went there in New York since like 5 years ago. So don't lie. Just don't lie, America. This is how much if I cared about America, what we've been learning as a kid. So don't get me wrong. All the stories are real. So don't get me wrong. Alright, so I think that's about it. So let's see how that goes in the next news. Okay, breaking news. The 6.5 earthquake in Peru just been struggled down with all those damages and people got hurt for this month. Well, it was a tragedy, but I've never seen anything happen. No will. It's kind of a small earthquake that was been happening like since the earthquake in Haiti, Japan, Napa, or some crazy shit that was been going on, you know? You know, we've been talking about earthquakes like before, since like the worst ones before, like the last decade that we've seen the worst news, but we get to some stupid ideas what we've been talking through. It's been overposed since we've been looked the heaviest earthquakes that has been deadly, but it's not good. But we've been talking about the past, but sometimes we have to gather up sometimes. Don't you know that there used to be an earthquake in Napa like in 2014? Man, well, like think about this shit. You know, there has been like so many years that has been in the heavy past, and then it's not looking good when they showed up. You know what I mean? But we can get the right to those things. You know, it's temporarily bad, but you just want to have to like watch your legs in, and once you have to go inside the desk and watch your head, might protect you from the earthquake. If there's an earthquake drill or something that's gonna be end up like something that's gonna be shaking. You know what I mean? Because planet Earth needs some anger issues from God, because God is angry, because we need to like fight forces to end up the people that we need to talk about, because this isn't easy. You know, life ain't easy if we're talking about earthquakes. You know, it's not good. We don't want it to take no explanatories or anything. It's temporary bad, you know. And by the way, you should think about it in your good future. If you have good thoughts in your families and prayers, you know, you have to gather up for life. I know there's been many years in earthquakes like China or Philippines or different ones, you know, that was so like 2015 or 2012, 2013, and then or 2018 to whatever. I don't give a damn like how this craziest earthquakes have ever been so far. So that was been the worst. You know what I mean? And that's it. All right. So let's skip to the next news. Okay, breaking news. Loc Brown just passed away by the SWAT teams. How did it accidentally when did that happen in Minneapolis? Well, it's just an accident, you know. You know, that happened before with some girl who got shot against Dante right back last year. You know, like somewhere in Minneapolis. You know what I mean? It's still the same shit. George Floyd, they still don't have the past since like for 2 years. You know what I mean? I know there's been a choking problem. That's 2020. 2021, that was like a zip problem by the girl who been shot in a little firearm well, I think it's the wall of the zip liner that they can use with the gun, and they use it shuts like a electric shit. You know what I mean? And this year, SWAT teams said they got shot on with a big ass rifle that they had to shoot him. It's crazy. You know, I know Loc Brown, he's a good man, but he shouldn't keep his heads up about the police and what should they warn and what could be done. The lesson. The biggest lesson that you don't want to warn about is winning money from taxes, winning money from getting home from out into the streets, or end up charges against like the other people that you shouldn't be explaining. It's not cool. You should never think about those stuff. It's not righteous. It's not right. You know what I mean? You have to do what is right in America. Because America needs to be proud for those people. They need to be cleaned and clean crime or whatever. You know what I mean? And clean criminal records. You know what I mean? Whoever people who have like a bad criminal records, if you've been involved like somewhere that you wouldn't be to get into, the SWAT team will kill you. You know what I mean? That's why you have to learn a lesson now. Alright, so here's the next one. Breaking news. The U.S. employers are hired about like 467,000 jobs. Well, I already got a job there, but you guys need a job now, so be proud to yourself, because Joe Biden loves you, and God loves you very much. That's why he makes you special, and what you make become the best to make a better offer. Because I want you to become successful. But don't worry. Every successful works, but you don't have to hesitate too much. But it's great that you need something else that you want to talk to. But jobs is never easy, but you have to overtake like someone else that you wanted to get there. But you don't have to. It was just a natural way. But I'm trying to help you to get a job, because jobs are easy or jobs are hard, but you need to be like, you have to pass the interviews, you have to make sure who is the right person that you have to get you into the job to, which is more fabulous, and later then you get hired from the job. But all you're sincere, you have to look up and make sure what are your experience that you've been through in the job in the past. And then they'll help you to the same old job. That's it. You don't have to. It's all your best if you could. And that's it. Alright. Here comes the critical beatdown news. Alright. Breaking news. The new COVID is the new COVID-19 disease that is spreads around between the Middle East and Africa. Not again, guys. Not again. It's not the same as Omicron or the coronavirus disease, but it's different. They've been having the MERS-CoV since 10 years. But it's not the same disease that we talked about before. It's not a coronavirus. It's something else. But it's something that's not easy that you can talk about. That's something that's not real. Because every disease is still not the same. We're not talking about the same disease as coronavirus. We're talking about the MERS-CoV. Because there is some disease, like NeoCoV is spreading around across Africa and the Middle East. I'm not lying. You know? CDC is not lying. Okay? They're not lying. They're trying to be honest with you. You know? There's some crazy disease there still continue. You know? There is a lot of... Well, and plus RSV is just some disease too. And Finches A and B, they'll be around like this year. So what's the big deal about the process about the NeoCoV? That can spread array. And plus, they can spread deadly because bats, they evolved from that bigger disease. And the humongous disease. You know what I mean? But we get it now. It spreads too much. But in the meantime, it's just not the way it is to think about the crazy disease. But in the meantime, leave those wild animals alone. We've been talking about this for 2 to 3 years. Stop clearing off the bats off the China and the Africa. Please. We need America to grow together and start creating the good world. Leave the wild animals alone. Well, to be honest with you, wild animals should never get mirrored up and die by the humans to get end of coronavirus or the MERS and the NeoCoV. I'm not kidding, but this might be the worst. But I don't think NeoCoV is gonna stop it until later, until in the summer or fall. But it's gonna be fine, you know. That will take 5 years from now, because MERS-CoV it's kind of like similar to how they had to deal with NeoCoV. But in that disease, it's still contributing effort. That's going to be effort. But still, it might not be the coronavirus disease. It's just a weird type of disease that comes from camels and bats, and that's it. There's no heavy after to them come to this this bullshit. You know what I mean? There's no bullshit that's related to coronavirus. There's no such thing. It's just the weird disease that comes from the wild animals. They've been end up cremated or died from it when they have to cook bats to eat it. I'm like, seriously, leave those wild animals alone. We've been talking about this for 3 years before they end up spacing and end up deadly by the coronavirus. It's been 3 years and you're not listening. And that's it. Well, looks like we're done talking about that today. And we'll be back after this. It's Zekalas Odyssey.